Hi. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank LMC Media and also Chief DiRuzza and Lieutenant Trujillo providing, for having the time to meet with us and continue with our podcasts. My name is Luis Zarate. I am the Director of Finance and Human Resources for the Community Resource Center. And here we're going to have some time to discuss different items that relate to the community between public engagement and the interaction with the police force. And, you know, we have two experts in our community that are going to provide that for us. So I'm going to start with introductions, and maybe I'm going to start with my co-host, Nicole.
Hi, so I'm Nicole Tuck, and I'm the Director of Development and Communications at the Community Resource Center, and we're thrilled to have you join us today.
Thank you.
So just to jump into it, so we're going to talk about, building trust and community engagement between the community as a whole. So our first question would be, what initiatives has the police department implemented to improve relationships with local residents, including immigrant, low-income, and people of color who historically struggled to trust law enforcement?
So we've been partners with the CRC for many, many, many years. So we continue to have dialogue with them. We are invited to the forums that they host on multiple occasions to address any kind of concerns that any of the patrons of the CRC have. We also implement certain trainings that we do for all of our officers. So we do have implicit bias training and procedural justice training. Mm-hmm. We are proud to say that I think when I first started, we had maybe about 5 to 7 officers who spoke Spanish, and now we have about 27.
So in 2008, we had about 4 when I started, and that was about 7% of the department. Now we have about 16, so it's about 31% of our department speaks Spanish or Spanish origin. So we've looked to diverse our department to reflect the community. The community in Mamaroneck is about 25%, so we're above that of what the census has. Mm-hmm. What the chief spoke about, our procedural justice training, which is 3 different classes that officers need to attend as part of the training. And it talks about just the background of policing in the United States of America, major situations that the police have been involved, like obviously slavery, obviously like the Zoot Suit riots in California in the 40s, the Japanese population that dealt with things after World War II, the Stonewall riots in the 60s and late 60s with the gay movement, and even what happens today in our community. So we're always talking about our past, our present, and our future, trying to learn from mistakes that were done either through the police or through the government or through maybe unpopular situations. But we try to expose our officers to this environment, right? Mm-hmm. It's part of our culture to learn from that and make our officers aware of where things have come from in the past and where we're today.
So how do you address concerns from community members who fear police involvement due to their immigration status?
Go ahead.
Start.
So basically the same thing, right? So we're always open to engaging with the community at these forums. Any questions that they have, we'll explain to them our processes. We have policies and procedures in place regarding immigration status and what information that we do divulge to any other authorities, whether it's Homeland Security or ICE. The last forum that we went to, we explained to the members there how to protect themselves, what the officers in the Village of Mamaroneck Police Department wear, how to identify us, to call 911 if they have any concerns, that we would respond. And in addition to that, we're also putting together like a PSA video of multiple officers who are bilingual that will explain to the public about why they became a police officer and encouraging them to seek assistance if they need it from the police. And they also have business cards that they can hand out to community members. So if they make a contact with one of our officers, that they'll be able to contact them in the future. So if they have a rapport with somebody, they'll now have that person's information, that officer's information, that they can address them directly.
Some misconceptions of the public is that the police are here to enforce immigration status. We just don't do that. That's just not correct. You know, between the chief and I, we have over 40 years of experience in law enforcement. I could attest, and she could probably attest, she's never arrested someone for being undocumented. This is not the case. And our police department doesn't take part in those actions. I know during the current climate right now, things are very tested and things are very heated, but the Village of Marina Police Department is not gonna knock on your door to go look to see if you have proper papers. This just doesn't happen. So our police officers are here to assist the public, whether you're here legally or here illegally. If you're a victim of crimes, please call us. Please feel free to come up to a bicycle officer on the avenue and say, hey, I need help with something. Or if you were stopped for some minor traffic violation, the officer's not going to ask you whether you're undocumented or not. It doesn't happen. Our officers are here to provide a service and to provide justice to victims of crimes and assist people in a variety of different situations, whether it's their apartment got flooded with water, whether their child's missing, whether they're having a domestic dispute with their husband. We're here to provide a service. Has nothing to do with your status, whether you're documented here or undocumented, doesn't matter.
Thank you, Lieutenant Trujillo. Just on the trust issue, I just want to go back a little bit to that. And I know personally, coming from a country that you have a certain distrust towards the authority, and then, you know, a lot of community members that are part of Mamaroneck, they come here and they come with either those biases or those experiences. And they have a certain distrust towards authorities and, you know, the police force in general. How do you guys work with those community members? Is there any type of reaching, and I think you touched upon that, but.
So the chief spoke about it earlier, just expounding upon it a little bit more. We put ourselves out there so the community can see us as a friendly face, right? You're not seeing me because I'm coming to arrest you. You're seeing me at a community event where I'm here to help you and talk to you about whatever information you have. Maybe you have some experiences from your country that were negative with the police, where happened in Peru or Mexico, Puerto Rico, doesn't matter. But now you're here in the Village of Mamaroneck, and we try to help you to separate those experiences from what happened in your country to what's happening today, where I'm here next to you, talking to you. You know me on a first name basis. I work at the Village of Mamaroneck Police Department. Here's my phone number. Here's my business card. I'm a friendly face. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. So I think our culture fosters that and how we do business, right? Even though we're a public entity, right? We're a government agency, we're a police department. We almost operate like a private institution where we have a brand, right? It's our brand, it's our police department. And we try to connect with the community. And that's what as part of our culture, that's what we do.
And we also collaborate with the Community Resource Center. We have 2 detectives who handle calls for domestic violence and conduct follow-up. So if there is someone who needs further assistance, those detectives will collaborate with the CRC and the victim in that incident to provide additional resources, explain the process, whether it's family court or criminal court. So they do have that working relationship that exists already.
Okay, so let's say if a victim of a crime, or they're either a victim of a crime or they know someone who is a victim of a crime, but they're afraid to come to you. Is there any anonymous way that they can go to you? How would they be able to reach to you if that was the case? So
we have a website. It's English and Spanish. Like the chief spoke about earlier, our police department is very diverse, and if someone comes in and speaks the language, more than likely there's going to be an officer that speaks Spanish there. Okay. If you call the police department and you only speak English, and maybe the desk officer doesn't speak Spanish, there's a language line that we could utilize. So we've tried to make our services more available to people that don't speak English, right? It goes back to the culture and the mentality that we have as a police department, that we're reaching out to make us more accessible to the public. We're differently.
Right. I mean, I think in talking about like the future and future collaborations, that we're always going to maintain that relationship. I have been working, and so has Lieutenant Trujillo, about forming a mediation center within the community. The CRC received a grant, a JAMS grant, to be able to do that. So we're in constant communication about that. So we're hoping that's going to come to fruition. So that would be more for not criminal acts, but things regarding like rental disputes, kind of civil disputes, landlord-tenant, things like that, that hopefully this mediation center will help to only just strengthen those partnerships. So I think we're looking forward to finally establishing that.
Anything that we can utilize, anything that we can use just to keep fostering that relationship and keep building that trust, we're open to.
Right. And what are the challenges that you find having a very diverse community within Mamaroneck? What are the challenges that you guys find, and how would an organization such as Community Resource Center come in and be able to help, or any other organization for that matter?
Well, I think you said people come from other countries. They come with, different ideas about how the police department here is. So anything we can do to try to explain that it's not the way it is here, and that's why it's so important that we continue to foster this relationship with the Community Resource Center, to get the word out that what you might know about what happened in your country is not the same as what happens here. We do support victims. We do want them to come forward. Both the lieutenant and I are residents of this village. It's our home too. So we care about what happens here. Yeah. We want people to feel safe, and that is our goal.
We have a vested interest. Like Chief said, we live here, we work here. My kids go to the school system here. I'm a child of immigrants, and I know how my parents felt when they came to this country. So I can understand it and I can appreciate it, but it's my job to advocate and help bridge the gap between those misconceptions of the police department or the policing overall with this police department in the community. So whether it's an officer that's on the avenue in a police car or a bicycle, whether it's an officer going to a community meeting or going to teaching DARE at the school, we're always looking to extend our hand out. This police department doesn't operate in a silo. We're like an entity and we're by ourselves. We're always extending our hand out to the community in any which way we can, whether it's going to a church event as well. We go to church events and we try to talk to the people at the churches and see however we can help. We're always looking to extend ourselves.
Okay. And now we know that Chief DiRuzza, you're, I don't know if this is public or not, but I know you're in the process of going towards retirement.
Yes.
Was there a formal announcement about your replacement? Maybe you want to tell us a little bit so the community
Yes,
is
yes.
informed?
So basically the process was I announced my retirement to the board, and they conducted interviews of a few of our very qualified candidates within the police department. So the village board and the mayor have selected Lieutenant Trujillo to
awesome.
be my successor. So we anticipate that the transition is going to be seamless. Lieutenant has already been exposed to multiple community forums with the Community Resource Center. He has participated as part of this mediation grant. So we will continue the trajectory that we're on, and I think he'll be great in this position. And like I said, he'll continue the direction that the department is going. So
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No.
I look forward to it.
And now looking towards the future, right? And with the current environment, I guess, but how do you envision do you expect any changes happening within the police force? I guess what's the vision for you within, let's say, 5 years?
So it's a good question. I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to, for the last 4 years and a half, work very closely with Chief DiRuzza, and her vision has become my vision. And I'm going to keep pushing this department the same way we've been going for the last 4.5 years. An open police department that's able to reflect the community, that's able to work with the community, that is a helping hand in any which way they can. I'm going to continue to work with our officers with training, making sure that our police officers are well trained, because a well-trained police department is an effective police department, and being able to give them as many resources as possible.
All right. I don't know if you have any.
So, no, I just want to take a minute to thank you, Chief, for all of your flexibility and mindfulness in working with the CRC over your years. You've really built a sense of community and trust, and we greatly appreciate and value that. So we just wanted to give you a sincere thank you for that, and we look so forward to working with you.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. We appreciate that, and we do take pride in that. Part of the procedural justice talks about being transparent and fostering trust with the community. And we do think that's really important. And we do take a lot of pride in the officers that we hire here and the importance of vetting those candidates to make sure that they are the ones that we actually want to work here. So we really have a good group of men and women that work here. When I first started, there was only one other female police officer. Now we have 7.
Oh.
So I think we're going to keep moving forward and diversifying our department and just encouraging and continuing to build that trust with everyone in the community.
So, yeah, like the chief said, like our officers, no matter how hard we try to push something, we need buy-in from our officers. And selecting the right police officers to wear that uniform, wear that patch, and wear that shield represents our department to the highest degree. So we have to make sure when we select those officers, they're the right people for the job. And I think we take a lot of pride in selecting the right people. And we take a long time to hire a police officer.
Yeah.
Hiring a police officer here is not easy. It takes a lot of levels that you have to accomplish, a lot of things you have to make sure you do before that person is able to get hired. And we screen them once they get hired. They're still here for a year of probation, where we're constantly evaluating them, assessing them, seeing how they do things. Are they doing things well? Are they able to, make errors and maybe learn from their errors? So, it's a rigorous process, but it's a needed process to make sure we have the right makeup.
Okay.
Well, we're lucky to have you here in Mamaroneck, both of you, and
you.
such a
Pleasure.
supportive police department that's willing to work with the community.
Well, the police department is a community, and the community is the police department. 75% of our officers live in the village of Mamaroneck.
That's awesome.
So it reflects, right? So it's not like you have an outside department that the people don't even know the neighborhood or the people. Most of the time, you call 911, the officer that's coming to the call probably lives in the area and probably knows the people involved.
Right.
And we know that, we can't do our job without the public,
No.
without the community. So that's the relationship, right? If we need help, whether it's a witness that sees something, we want them to come forward. So, it works both ways. So we need their help as much as, they need us.
Sounds good. There was one question around, U visa, D visa programs, and that how often do they come your way, and how do you respond to those types of requests?
So
And
they usually-
what's the process?
So they usually
for it?
come into my office, and usually U visas for someone who's been a victim of a crime,
Right.
but also has assisted the police department and the district attorney in prosecuting the case. So if someone was a victim of a crime and they assisted the police department and the DA's office in prosecuting the case, they could apply for a U visa. I would review the case with the district attorney's office, and we would either approve the application or disapprove the application, reject the application, excuse me. The T visa, I haven't seen any of those come at my desk. Those are for people that have been victims of human trafficking and sex
trafficking,
trafficking. And lucky enough, I haven't seen those.
Right.
But we do know it happens, and there is a resource available for those victims.
So I think just to follow up on that, so the U visas, we get a couple a year, I would
Yeah.
say. But there have been a couple of cases where we have had other officers from other municipalities help us to conduct interviews of people who could potentially be trafficked to make sure that they're not. So if we need to, we also seek assistance from outside agencies to help us with that interview process.
Okay. Thank you. I guess if you will be, if you were to talk to any community member, what would be your message saying, coming from both of you at the position that you have, and any words of wisdom, encouragement in terms of, the current environment, number one, and in general, what will be your message to them?
So, I mean, I think we said it in this interview, but the chief said it as well. She said, the police department is the community, and the community is the police department. Sir Robert Peel said that years ago. And we need your assistance. Whether you're a 30-year-old mother that's a victim of domestic violence, whether you're a 14-year-old female that's being abused by a father or a family friend, we don't know that unless you give us a call. There's no way the police department can find that out unless we are told. So with that being said, that person needs to feel comfortable to call, to walk into the police department, right? So whatever claim is going on in the country, whether it's through the federal government, that's separate from us, right? We work for the Village of Mamaroneck, and we work for the people of the Village of Mamaroneck. So I just want to make sure that people know that there's a friendly face, there's open-minded people at our police department that are here to help. One of the greatest satisfactions I get as a police officer for the 19 years is when I can help someone, genuinely. You know, if I can provide justice to them, give them a voice, give them back power that maybe they felt powerless because they had no one to turn to. Well, that's what the police department's here for, right? To help you. We're not looking to hurt anyone. Again, we talked about it before, we talk about it again now. People have experiences from other countries and other locations. You don't dismiss that, you understand it, but you help them understand where they're at today is different. And this police department is different.
And if, for some reason, they don't feel comfortable coming to the police department, if they can go and see a staff member at the Community Resource Center, we would anticipate and expect and want that person from the Community Resource Center to contact the police department, even contact the future chief directly about any concerns that they have, or he would then be able to, assign a detective or an officer to that case, because we do want people to come forward. Like we said, we're part of this community too, and we want to protect people because it's important to us. So if we see that somebody is a victim, we want to get justice for that person. So it is really important that they do come forward to report these crimes.
We cannot thank you enough for your time, the information, the message, the vision, I think. And I think for us is very important to keep this conversation going as we keep moving along. CRC as a partner, I think we
It's an amazing collaboration
Yes.
that we've formed with the police department.
Absolutely.
And benefits all of us, I think.
And the community, absolutely.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Much
no.
appreciated.
No, thank you so
Thank you.
much. We wish you best
Best.
wishes.
Thank you.
We're
I'll
gonna
still
miss
be
you.
around, and I'll still be offering a ear or a helping hand if
Absolutely.
he needs
okay.
any
All right.
assistance.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
I will still be here.
And we
And-
look forward to our future
Yeah.
involvement with you.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, you can reach us on, walk to the police department if you want and speak to an officer there. You can call us at our desk line, 914-777-7780. We have Facebook pages. We have Instagram pages. We also have a website ourselves, like we said, English and Spanish. So we're here. You can contact us in different ways.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Mamaroneck is very lucky to
Yeah.
have such an engaged community.